everybody, thank you very much for coming back tonight for another open mic night. Tonight we are going to discuss trans issues and trans rights, and we have a nice wide open panel tonight. We've been joined by the regulars. We have Dave, we have Manda, and we have Rib, and then we have a few special guests tonight. We'll start off with Diana, because I know Diana well, so we'll go straight with our little love, Diana. If you want to introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are, Diana.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. I am Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady. How the heck are you? Yes, I am the Lavender Lady. I do Lavender Lady things, and you can always find me on the Lavender Lady channel if you ever decide to go looking for me. And if you want to avoid me, feel free to do so. Okay.
We have up in the bottom, well, down in the bottom corner, we have Cadence. Cadence is a regular over in the Godless Engineers chat, one of his mods. Cadence, if you want to expound upon that.
She might still be talking to her work.
Jeez. Oh, okay. We will move on. We will move on. Jamie, we are just meeting Jamie for the first night tonight. Everybody in the chat knows Spooky Bedher, and Spooky Bedher has put us in contact tonight for this topic. So, Jamie, if you just like everyone to know, let them all know who you are.
Hi, I'm Jamie Darkay, formerly J Darkay. I recently just came out as trans, and can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
You're great.
I absolutely did not hear you asking whether I could hear you.
Okay. Sorry, my mic was being weird. Okay. So yeah, I do live streams and videos over on my channel, Jamie Darkay, which I've just I keep advertising the old version. It's hard to keep track of, you know.
Yeah,
but
what is
yeah,
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm friends with Spooky. He's a good dude. He's put me in contact with a number of cool people recently.
Yeah, Spooky's very good for
He's
that.
a big sweetie.
He does be working in the background, connecting people as Spooky does,
yeah.
you know. And I've said many a time in the channel, he was one of the first people that was nice to me in the community. So an awful lot of love for Spooky. And Isley, Isley, a friend of Rib's that Rib found through Discord, who has joined us tonight for the conversation. Do you have a channel yourself, or do you do anything? Just argue with people like Rib on Discord?
I just argue with people.
It does get fun. It's an enjoyable night. So we've come here tonight. As you can see, the panel, we've tried our best tonight to include people from the community. We're going to be discussing trans rights. I'm basically going to be taking a backstage because I'm the enemy. I'm an evil white straight man. I've warned Cadence that we're going to lean on her. But yeah, I'm going to be throwing questions out, and if we could just start and maybe go round the panel, and if we could, the people on the panel who are trans, if they could just describe their pronouns and things like that, and maybe a wee bit of a background story, if that's possible. Diana, would you like to start, since
Okay, it's fine with me.
you have the most experience, I would say?
I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, I started my transition about 10 years ago, but I knew that something was up from the age of, for the love of St. Gulick, probably, 6 or 7 years old. I knew something was up. And I just did not know what it was called until maybe, 1973 or something like that. Didn't know there was a word for any of it. And it's just been a journey, if you will, trying to discover who I am. This is really weird when you say, I hear the kids, if you will. I mean, okay, I'm no spring chicken, but we'll get to that later. I have to find myself and the whole thing, but this is more or less actually what I've been doing these last decades, really. I first started my journey back around 97 and began the transition back in 2009. Been doing the HRT for 10 years. I'd like to do a heck of a lot more, but unfortunately I'm not made of money, so that's another problem right there. That's something we run into when you come into things like that. But it's just a matter of getting myself recognized and accepted is Diana Athena Clarion. Happily, I haven't had much problem. Little things here and there.
Yeah.
But, it's not like I live in Arkansas, okay? Or Mississippi. Here in Pennsylvania, it's a little bit easier, but I really feel for some of the kids who have to fight their way through and slog their way through every step of the way. And yeah, if I call you kids, it's only because I'm older than pretty much every one of you. All right.
Well, that's Diana. That's Diana.
Who's next?
Isley, would you like to go on the next?
Sure. So I'm Isley. I've known I'm trans or something different, as you said earlier. Since I was about 9, 10, around second grade. I recently started HRT in September of 2019, and then I had an orchiectomy about 2 months ago.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. How nice.
And that's about it for my transition. It's not that far along.
Now, do you notice any big difference? I mean, pre-orchy and after orchy, or?
There is a little bit, but not extreme differences. It's mostly with like erections and things like that don't happen anymore. But that's about it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I have to get the money together for that sort of thing, and yeah, I'm not exactly Bill Gates, so.
None of us are.
And
anyway, say again.
no, I was just gonna. As she says, she's just transitioning as it is. And Jamie, you're only moving into it yourself. How have you found your experiences? Are you moving on to the hormone therapy, or her mic is being problematic?
Yeah.
So, Diana,
Jamie,
we will ask you,
radio-
seeing as you've got a nice, strong.
Is there someone speaking right now that I can't hear?
Yes. Jamie, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. I can read you now. 5 by 5.
You're good now, Jamie.
Is
Yeah,
MathPig speaking?
I was.
Yeah.
speaking.
Can you not hear MathPig?
I can't hear him. I don't know why. That's
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Jamie?
can hear everyone else. I can hear literally
Okay.
everyone else.
I'll just
Oh my! How many times has this happened? Yeah.
You are going to have a great stream.
when you're asking Jamie, when you said you just came out, but how
Yes.
far along were you before this? Are you doing hormone therapy? If you could just explain quickly. your
Yeah,
experience.
sure. So no, I have not started hormone therapy yet. I just came out, honestly, like, what was it, 3 weeks ago now?
Oh my. Okay. Newly hatched.
Yes, yes. Now, a lot of people assume, like, I guess and this isn't to be like, because I understand I'm very fortunate. I pass better than some other people, and so some people think that I've been on like hormones for a while. I'm like, no, I just shaved all my body hair and put on some makeup and shit, and started to. I mean, I've always been good at like manipulating my voice, so I'm like,
Oh my.
this
Okay.
just feels a million times more natural, and just so yeah. Basically, like, since I've come out, I've kind of had this in the back of my head for a long time, just like knowing like I didn't really feel all that masculine, and I've never felt masculine, and I've noticed recently, like, a lot of the things that I've done, and a lot of the behaviors that I've put on, a lot of the way that I speak, and just a lot of shit I've realized is just me trying to fit in to what I believe is masculinity, because I trying to fit into that societal box that everyone wants me in.
Mhm.
And it was only recently when I started listening to people like explaining gender theory in a way that I could actually understand it. Don't know if you guys listen to Vosh at all. I know he's a little bit. I know some people don't like him. Some people really like him.
I know. Of Vosh.
I really appreciated the way he explained gender theory, because I didn't get it before. I was like, like I would hear non-binary or trans people talk, and I still heard all those like anti-SJW talking points of like, oh well, there's only two genders, and these people are trying to like erase sex. And once I finally once I finally understood it, I was like, oh well, I actually identify with that a hell of a lot. And it kind of helped me to like explore myself and understand like why I did certain things, why I behaved certain ways. And now just a hell of a lot more, like just everything makes sense to me now. Like I'm discovering who I am, and it's amazing.
We BrainBug and I had a stream last night with biologist PZ Myers, and he was
yay!
Yeah, he was talking to us about how there's actually more than two sexes, let alone there's the genetic theory behind sexuality and gender. So he's going to actually come back on and talk about that. But it is so much more complicated than coming out and just saying.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a difference between sex and gender, and that has to be kind of the starting point in arguing with these people.
Yeah, if anybody tries to tell you it's all X and Y, they're just full of shit. Yeah.
I think a lot of people just don't understand it. It goes outside of what a lot of us were taught growing up. And so now when we hear these things, it's just like, no, that's not how it is. That doesn't make sense. Even though none of us are biologists, none of us grew up with like the like knowledge of these things. This is just what we were taught. And now we're learning like how shit actually is. And it's great. We can finally like.
I know that Jamie can't hear me. No, can you hear me?
Ourselves.
Jamie?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Can you hear me, Jamie? No.
She can't hear you.
Not at all. Right. Well, I'll ask Diana then at first, and then we'll move on to Jamie.
Are we having audio issues again?
It's just you for some reason you can't hear him, but I'll tell you.
Do you want me to I'll leave and come back in. Maybe that'll help.
It's probably him that needs to leave and come back in.
Yeah, if you leave and come back in, then you won't be able to hear anybody.
Right. Give me 1 second and I'll come straight back then. Give me 1 second and I'll come straight back.
I use Discord.
So we're,
I identify as a cripple.
And
That's it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Jamie, can you hear him now?
Yes.
You can hear me now, Jamie?
Yes.
Perfect, there we
Yay.
go. Happy days. Wonderful. Brilliant. Now, it's good that the host can ask the guest questions. It helps in the show.
Yes, it does.
Well, again, I don't want to we're not going to make fun of, I'm not picking on Diana being older or anything like that, but Diana went through a different, the stages that culture was when Diana was going through it was an awful lot now different than what it is at the minute. Society, I don't think as a whole is more accepting, but there is a lot more people in the society now that have a stronger voice and are willing to speak out, that can help support the trans issues and the rights, and help be there for them. Have you come across any stigma, is there, I don't want to say, is there people throwing bricks at you as you go up the street, but have you come across anything negative from the people around you, just the public or anyone close to you? Has people been accepting?
Who's that for, sweetie?
We'll go with Jamie because it's new for Jamie.
Okay, fine. Yeah, go.
Okay. Well, so as a YouTuber, I mean, like my audience has been really accepting. At least most of them have been. In fact, I've gotten like an outpouring of like positive feedback from a bunch of new people, and like and so that's been overwhelmingly positive. Now in terms of like the stigma, I guess I've been officially disowned by my parents, which doesn't really.
So sorry.
It doesn't really bother me too much because I kind of disowned them a long time ago. They're not great people. So and I was kind of expecting this. And I'll be honest, because I'm living in a different place now. Like I used to live in Canada with my grandmother. And that's part of the reason I'm doing this now, is that like I'm not around the people that are going to stigmatize me for this. Yeah. I'm not around the people who are going to judge me and not understand it. And that's why I just feel a hell of a lot more free. So I mean, yeah, I know there's going to be people that aren't going to accept this, and honestly, I don't accept them as people. Fuck them. I don't need people who are too like bigoted and hateful to like, you know, especially when it's your own fucking child. When you're too bigoted to view your own child as a fucking human being, like, what kind of person
tell
are
me
you?
about it.
You're not worth my time.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's being on the internet and having that base and the channel that does support you does give you that confidence boost, you know, and it makes you feel more accepted because there is other people around there. As I referenced with Diana, though, is probably there was no internet when Diana was transitioning. There was no community and things like that. I'm sure, you know, was it harder to get acceptance back then, Diana?
Well, okay, I kept my mouth shut for over 40 years.
Yeah.
Because had I said anything, I would have been in, deep doo-doo, as they say in the old country. Had I said, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I'm a girl, I would have been a 10-year-old on the street. I mean, as it was, I feel for you, Jamie, because, I know the feeling. I got those 3 words, you humiliate us. Those were the last words he said to me, and the last words she said to me were goodbye.
Sorry.
So I get that. Well, I disowned, like you, I disowned them earlier because they were assholes.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, tit for tat, if you will.
Well, that's what's funny because my mother's exact words, and I heard this through my sister because I didn't actually speak to them. They just saw my coming out stream. Her exact words were, "We're mourning him," and so I sent her a long ass message being like, "Bitch, I mourned you years ago. Okay, I've gotten over the fact that you ain't no fucking mother to me years ago, bitch. Fuck you. I don't need this shit."
Yeah.
And I blocked her, and then I sent a message to my father and blocked him as well, and I feel amazing.
The one that really got to me, when I first came out to family members, it was to several cousins who were all, "Hey, this is great. You're finding yourself. You're really you and everything, beautiful. Yay, 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 yay." And then I finally had to come out to those 2 because it was, it was going to happen anyway.
Inevitable.
And as soon as that happened and they, the shit hit the fan, they all dropped me. Especially those who said, yay for you and all that great and everything. All of a sudden, that was persona non grata. That got to me more than the slimy bastards dropping me.
I don't really understand that. Like, I have a 16-year-old that I constantly tell, no matter what, tell him, no matter what he does, I'm always going to have his back and always be by him. So he's my kid. He's everything to me. I cannot imagine him coming to me and just saying, well, this is me, and me saying, fuck you, get away. Like, I just can't. I can't. Yeah. I don't understand people like that. It's so awful. I'm so sorry for you.
I will say. I will say I am lucky. My family isn't like yours because my parents are pieces of shit, but everyone in my family knows they're pieces of shit. I was actually really surprised. My sister has been really supportive. My uncle has been really supportive, and he's a conservative Christian, but he like, I talked to him about it yesterday. Actually, I just came out to him yesterday, and he was like really accepting, and I was super fucking surprised. So there are people who are willing to accept this,
Well, at the end of the day, you are who you are, and it's, there is a transition and there is a change, but you're still you. You're going to become a better version of you and more comfortable in yourself.
Exactly.
But you're not going to, it's not like I'm trying to find the correct words, if you understand what I mean.
No.
I come from a world, I am the grandchild of immigrants, so my world might be a little bit different than the world of a lot of the kids around me. Not only am I grandchild of immigrants, I'm grandchild of Eastern European immigrants, very, very xenophobic. And then the other thing is the back fence gossip going on. I'm pretty damn sure that when he said, "You humiliate us," and then got rid of me, he was worried that the rest of the family would talk behind his back about me the way he would talk behind their backs about their issues.
Yeah.
So, it's what goes around comes around. Fine.
Yes.
No big.
Question
That's the
from
thing. A
the
lot of
chat.
time people are. Oh, sorry.
No, go on ahead, Jamie. No, go on ahead.
And I was just gonna say, a lot of time people betray their own like fears and shit like that. Where it's like, oh, people are gonna talk. It's like, yeah, that's because that's just because you know you deserve it, right?
Yes,
you know that's coming.
Question from the chat that we have from GeoSam is Geo sometimes feels uncomfortable when meeting new people and wonders how he should address them. Is there any advice to get past that? I think the advice is simple: is just ask them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, "Hey, dipshit" will work very well.
Yeah.
Rib, have you any questions you would like to ask?
No, I don't think so. I just don't understand, and like I think we were all kind of in agreement with that. I just don't understand how you could throw your own flesh and blood out of the house because they are expressing their true selves, and that simply because whether it's out of ignorance or whether it's out of whatever, you can't understand it, and so you kick. I don't have any kids myself, but I mean, I like there is almost nothing that they could do that would make me go like, I don't want you to be part of me or to be part of my life. I literally just cannot understand that. I just can't get it.
Not even become a Catholic priest?
Well, maybe it's, no, but yeah.
Only if they rape kids.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing.
There
Other
are
than
half
that-
decent Catholic priests out there. They're
Yeah.
hard to find, but they
Yes.
exist.
My uncle is a
I've
Monsignor.
several.
Kate,
Oh, okay.
you didn't get a chance to tell a bit of your story. Do you want to tell us a little bit how long, if you're, what you would want to be addressed as, anything you want to tell us about your experience? Kate, it's you.
Oh,
Since
hey.
you're on the phone.
Okay.
Hi.
Brilliant, yay!
Yeah. Sorry. As soon as the stream started, I get a call from work, and there was an outage, and so I had to, jump on that.
That's totally fine. No worries.
What was the question? I'm fried. Right
Well,
now.
you've missed most of it,
Tell us a
Cadence.
little
So
bit
would you
about
like to
your
introduce yourself?
experience.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Cadence, and partial of your story, and then we'll go from that.
Okay. Well, I'm Cadence. I am trans, actually, but I am more gender fluid than anything. Most of the time, I present as female, but because of the unique fucked up situation here in Louisiana, I go as a presenting male, because otherwise I would not have a job or anything else like that.
Oh, boy, shit.
Right.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, Cadence.
Yeah.
So living in the South fucking sucks, yo.
Very, very, very much.
There was something you mentioned in the Twitter group the other day, Cadence, that I was very interested in hearing more about. Was the little experiment that you did when you were at college? Was it a university, or you presented the first half of the year as one and then presented the second half of the year as another to see the reactions that you would get?
Yes, that was very interesting.
Yes,
So I
please
went to-
elaborate. I am very interested in that.
Okay, so I went to college for about 4.5 years to go for a computer science degree. It's a full-fledged university. So the first half, I went pretty much as myself, all as femmed out as possible. Tight jeans, makeup, hair all pretty, everything like that. And did that for about the first 2.5, 3 years or something like that. And just kind of, interacted with people, made my friends, got in good with professors and stuff like that. But about halfway through, I kind of stopped and just stopped presenting female and just like let a beard grow, wore camo pants and loose t-shirts and stuff like that. And it was a complete 180-degree difference in how I was treated. Like, I was treated a whole lot better. I was more respected. If I spoke up, people stopped.
Uh-huh.
It was very, very eye-opening.
Fucking patriarchy, yo.
Yeah,
If
if somebody ever tells me that male privilege is not a thing, I will fucking stab them.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, I've noticed it as well. Yeah, you're not taken seriously when you're a woman. I was working on a house I lived in, and the way I would be talked down to by the guys in the electrical department at Lowe's. And it's like, yeah, I've been doing this for years, and it's no, Missy, no, you do. It's all this way, and it's like, screw you.
I'm probably smarter than you. Fuck you, bitch.
And then there were those who knew me before I transitioned, so it would be, what can I do for you, sir? You know, okay. Wait a minute.
I've had plenty of fucking sirs, and it's insulting. It is very much. You can tell people who do it on purpose, and they purpose. They go out of their way to do it on purpose.
You can hear that vocal emphasis. Yeah.
You don't get me wrong, there is sometimes, and I am very bad at this, especially with people that, I have met as one and then they've transitioned to the other. I have a bad habit with junk shop, and I do make mistakes sometimes. There's a person in my Discord, and still to this day I refer to her as a her, and they are they, and I get these mistakes wrong, but I never do with Diana, because I've always met Diana and that's always been Diana.
Yeah.
When I come across and I do make these mistakes, I do hope that when I'm talking to the person, as we always say, context is key. If I make a mistake tonight, I apologize in advance. That's just my stupidity
don't worry
for
about
doing
his
it,
witness.
I think it's harder when you've known the person before, because I've known people that have come out, and you have to switch that in your brain, and most people are understanding about it. I try to be. I know there's people that are gonna look at me and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're a dude. Oh no, wait, you're a chick. Wait, what?" I get it.
It's not on purpose, especially people like Junk Shop, who we've known and are friends with. Junk Shop's wife even messes up a lot, and so it just happens.
Mm-hmm. My wife has done it a few times.
Yeah, it's not like we're doing it. If we mess up, it's because we're doing it on purpose and trying to be cruel about it. It's just
I've never met anyone that has objected to them getting the pronouns wrong. Where it wasn't intentional.
Right. Yeah, no, that's just a straw man from the anti-SJW types.
Yeah.
And then
I really hate it because it's really. No, I just really hate that because it's made this movement look really fucking bad for a long fucking time.
Well, I have a bit of a question. For years and years, the alt-right went after the gay community, especially when they were trying to get the rights in America to marry and all of that. It seems to have that kind of ire seems to have transitioned, not a pun intended there, over to the trans community. Have you guys missed that?
Sorry, I missed that. Diana was very excited. What did you say, Amanda?
I just said, have you guys noticed that?
Oh yeah. Oh boy, have I noticed, because you had that whole period where you were working up toward marriage equality, and then it becomes inevitable. Everybody and his brother-in-law and hamster are saying, okay, yeah, we get it. We know this is going to happen. And that's when you start seeing the bathroom bills appearing, coming after us.
Got to switch targets.
Yep. You have to have somebody to hate all the time.
And just like one of their main arguments against the gay community is the idea that anybody who is trans or anybody who's gay is a pervert, and that's one of the things that they like. That's one of the yes, especially when trying to pass these stupid bathroom laws and stuff like that.
I think that's the justification that I know that's part of the justification my parents use for shunning me, because it's oh, you're a degenerate pervert now. Yeah. We don't want you near us or our child. And especially they go, oh, we don't want you near our kids because you're gonna corrupt them, and it's so fucked.
And if I'm going to be a pervert, it's not going to be about this. I'm going to find something else to be pervert.
Hey, I'm a pervert in the privacy of my own fucking bedroom with my own fucking wife. It's no one else's business.
Hey, I'm kinky as fuck.
We'll not even get into the things that Cadence has said.
I amaze people at how vanilla I am, unfortunately. But, I mean, yeah, were I a little weirder or kinkier or whatever you want to call it, I might be able to get, more dates. Jesus Christ, I haven't had a date in over 10 years. And I'm not even going to say it because the entire freaking internet already knows.
Nothing wrong with being vanilla.
If I did something vanilla, somebody would check me into the hospital.
Speaking of sex and couples and things like that, Diana, again, I want to make a reference point to the different cultures and the different times that has been grown up in. Did you have any problems dating, whenever you first come out or anything like that? Or as you say, you haven't had a date in 10 years. There's a lot of assholes out there. I don't think that's because people don't like you, because fucking everybody loves Diana. Did you find a difference now? People now, there's apps, there's groups, there's bars, there's clubs. Was it different? Was it more difficult for you?
Well, I've got a few things working against me, if I can put it that way. I mean,
if you're comfortable to talk about them, yeah.
Let's see, I'm old, fat, ugly, pre-op, trans, hyper-intelligent, and poor. Okay, definite poor. And the interesting thing about it is
that why you're in Linux?
No, one of the reasons. No, actually, the main reason I like Linux is because I'm a systems hacker from way back.
I'm distracting. I'm tangenting. Go on with your story. Tell your story.
But, as far as all this stuff goes, my interests are well outside most people's interests. I mean, I'm really big into cosmology. I'm really big into biology. And I'm not the cosplaying science fiction person, that sort of thing.
So you're awkward because you're Diana, not awkward because you're trans.
Yeah, really. I mean, I had problems dating when I was trying to be Edward. But what can I tell you? It's one of the things I've noticed, though, and oh God, okay. I hope I'm not taken the wrong way when I say this, because I'm not trying to say anything the wrong way. I've noticed, especially in the trans woman community, I've heard it said that the only person who can really love a trans woman is another trans woman. Not so. No. For years and years and years, I've run into problems with trans women who want a real woman. Their terms, not mine.
Damn.
And I have found, I mean, since coming out and everything, since beginning my transition, which, as I said, was about 2009, so many people did not want another trans woman because we somehow didn't make the grade. And it's like, what the hell, man? I'm as much of a woman as you are, take my word for it. So are they trying to degrade themselves? Do they see themselves as real? I don't know. It's a question that, sticks in my mind. By now, okay, I've been alone so long, I'm not sure I would know how to have a relationship with anyone, to tell you the absolute truth. I've been alone for 10 years and in a real shitty relationship for 10 years before that. So maybe it's doing me a bit of good to be by myself. I don't know. But what?
Can I ask you a question then? Like, what was it that sparked you, like, coming out? Like, because for me, like, it was like having someone who accepted me and made me feel secure, and like I knew my wife would accept me no matter what, and like that she would be like fine with this, which is why like I was able to come out. Like, was there something like, what was kind of like your moment where you were like, oh well, this is okay, like to.
Yeah, okay. When my most recent ex took off, when she just left, the thought that went through my head was, number one, oh my word, now I can finally do something about this. And And along with it was, yeah, if I don't do something about this, I'm going to end up dead. So let's do this. I mean, I was 52 at the time, which is kind of late to be starting this sort of thing. But it was like, finally, was what was going through my damn mind. I had wanted to transition from the time I was about 11 years old. And there was always some reason that I couldn't. I mean, number one, it was 1968, and the environment was not anywhere near as receptive as it is now, and even now it's not all that great. And then there was a job, and there was a wife, and then there was, another, when that fell apart, there was another long-term relationship and everything else, and yeah, there was always something standing in the way, and it was finally, now I can do this, for fuck's sake. All I need now is, can I...
Familiar.
Say again, hon?
I said, that sounds very, very familiar.
Yeah, the only thing I need now is maybe about $100,000 falling out of the sky into my lap, so I can take care of a few things. Jeez, man.
There was a comment in the chat that related to what you were saying, Diana, from Mike Raptor. They say, I think there's a sense of shame for some that makes it hard to be reminded of their own transness if they date another trans person. Because, I mean, we've all grown up in the same society, and we've all heard the same utter bullshit and hate, and sometimes that's hard for people to just push away.
I think also there's something to I can understand. Okay, if someone is more like I get it, if someone's more attracted to one set of genitals rather than the other, I mean, me personally, like, I could date a cis woman, I could date a trans woman, I wouldn't mind, but I guess the fact though that they are using the term real woman, that kind of does, like, that invalidates their own identity. That's not.
Yeah,
that's not a way to look at it. If you just say like. Just say I'm attracted to cis women because I like pussies. Like.
Diana,
I don't understand. Actually, that's a valid thing that I find very odd that they refuse to say.
Yeah.
What's that, hon?
That they have a gender preference.
Yeah. I've run into that more than once. Yeah. And okay, I'm not exactly happy with it, but I can understand.
But this is the point. You cannot be. It's not hard to not be offended about the fact that they don't want to date someone with a penis, or they don't want to date someone with a vagina. Yeah. But to then put that on the trans person and try and basically invalidate them completely because of it is insane.
Right.
Yeah, it really is. Diane, you talked about how expensive it is. I don't know if you've seen like Orange is the New Black. There's a story in there with a trans woman who's fully, transitioned. Got all the surgeries and stuff, but in order to do it, she had to steal. That's how she ended up in federal prison. And it's just so depressing that there's nothing that can be done. I mean, insurance companies won't cover it in this country, and it really needs to, because it's not fair to trap people in a body they don't feel is theirs. It's not okay.
It's funny you bring that up because that show, I didn't realize, like, that actually resonated with me so much, and I didn't even understand why, but that character's like story literally brought me to tears a number of times watching that. Like, just thinking about it, I feel so bad for her. I know, like, it's just a show, but like,
her son
it's
being
emotional
to her because of who she was. Yeah, it's awful.
And it bleeds over, or at least the way I can see it is part of the reason I see that there's the tremendous opposition to single-payer universal health care, is that the conservative Christians in Tennessee don't want to pay for my genital surgery. So they're going to fight tooth and nail against that.
Yeah, well, I don't want to pay for the racist redneck's heart surgery when he's eating too much, like, fatty foods and his heart gives out. I don't want to pay for that, but you know what? We live in a fucking society. I know it's a meme, but we live in a society. We got to take care of each other. That's how this shit fucking works.
I wish more people would have that idea.
I mean, like, all of us are paying taxes towards something that we don't like, or that we like would rather that we didn't. Like, there's like there was a poll out. Okay, it was a good few years ago, but it's like like 16, 17 of the U.S. Country wants to be in the war in Iraq, and yet we're still there. So it's like a tiny percentage of the country wants to be there, but yet your tax dollars are going towards it. Yeah, so every single one of us are paying taxes towards something that we disagree with. It's like, fucking get over it. This is about, like, not just physical health, but mental health for, like, a large population of people. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they make a bucket load of money out of that.
Well, there are a lot of us. What?
They make a bucket load of money out of the war.
If we could let Izzy make her point.
Yeah. Honey?
Hi. So with the dating experience, mine has almost been a bit of an opposite. So what I mean with that is, so I'm basically passive besides my voice, but so with like dating, it's almost a bit harder for me because of chasers and things like that. Basically, that people are interested in my transness and not for who I am.
Well, I've had chasers running after me, yeah, and it hasn't been for a good long time, and I'm happy about that one. But yeah, there were the guys who wanted a warm sex toy, and it's like, well, number one, I'm not into guys, and number two, I'm not into that shit.
Yeah, I feel society, like mostly, like through porn and stuff like that, is hypersexualized a bit.
Can I ask a question that most people that are listening aren't going to know? What's a chaser?
Basically someone that's interested in you sexually for like your transness, basically like the chick with the dick type of thing.
Like a chubby chaser.
Yeah. And they'll
bring up
they're not there for you as a person, they'll just toss you out after you get surgery.
Yeah. A lot of the discrimination is because trans people are seen as a fetish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what a trans chaser is somebody who's looking for the fetish, not the person.
Well, I don't know if it's still the case anymore, but I know that early on, I mean, when I was in my 20s, a very popular form of entertainment was what they called she-male films. You could get all the whole chick with dick thing all over the place.
It is still out there.
It is still okay. I was hoping
Pornhub, you'll find it everywhere.
I was hoping that it had got better, but I guess not. And I have a feeling that there are the people who, they look at us and they say, you're just a pervert, because they are projecting themselves onto us. They are doing the perverted thing, seeing us as the warm sex toy and a whole bit like this. So, we must be, prurient at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think there's a problem with like trans porn. Like, I want it to be a thing, so it's normalized and all of that. But yeah, like people view it as like, sorry,
but not fetishized,
right? Like I don't even mind if some people like whatever. Like people have fetishes, but like if that's all you view it as, where it's just like, this is the thing that I get off to, and not realize, no, this is a normal person. And I'll be honest, I was kind of guilty of that too, and it's because of the way society like puts it. And I'll be honest, like there's a lot of shit like depictions of trans people that I've noticed in media, anything from, and I love this movie, but it's kind of problematic. Silence of the Lambs, it's that kind of depiction where it's like, they're either a deviant or a murderer or some kind of, or a pedophile, or they're just something like dangerous. And so it's either they're a sex toy or they're some kind of evil degenerate, and they don't view us as like people.
There's a question from the chat from Aunt Jur. How do you weed out or deal with chasers?
For me, mostly I meet them on like dating apps and stuff like Tinder and things like that. So you just mostly have to just block them and then move on.
And Jamie's married, so
I'm glad I don't have to deal with this shit. I feel bad. I really do.
If I can ask, would you be, it's, again, we want society to be accepting and stuff of this. And as you say, Izzy, you would have chasers and things like that. You could pass, sorry, I used the phrase wrong, possibly, pass as a woman, a real woman, all these, but do you go up front with it? Are you're out and open with it from the get-go?
For me at least, I'm a bit, like, I'll talk to them for a bit and then I'll tell them. I just like to get to know people, and usually you get to know their what's the word, character a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't hide it. I mean, if somebody asks, it's like, I'm trans.
Yeah,
But,
I'd always tell them for like a first date or something, but because it's dangerous not to. But besides
Oh
that,
yeah, you can get yourself killed that way.
Yeah, you see, that's what I wanted to make a reference point to, is because whenever I was younger, now I was in my maybe mid-20s or so, we were at a house party before, and there was a fella there. He had got himself a new girlfriend that had come in from the group and stuff like that, and I wasn't told till after the party that she was trans, because her boyfriend didn't know, because her boyfriend hung around with a load of fucking people who would not be accepting of it, you know. Now I know from then, obviously that's my mid-20s, I'm now nearly 40, I haven't heard from him in a long time, but when the last I did hear is he stopped hanging around with them. He was accepting of the girlfriend because he loved her, but he didn't know, and she didn't tell him, and it was sort of a secret completely, you know. He didn't know at all for I think at least 3 or 4 months before she told him.
I have a bit of a question. How do you deal with the fact that the United States president is openly hateful toward trans? I mean, look what he did with trans in the military. How does that make you feel? How do you deal with that?
Well, personally, I want to go into hiding. I want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But nobody will take me.
You can come with me, honey.
I mean,
Well, you're in Georgia. No, I mean, get the hell out of the U.S.
When I leave, I will take you.
Yes, if we can get at least 5 or 6 of us together, if we can get at least 5 or 6 of you coming over to Ireland here, we can get a wee commune going, you know. Nice plot of land up in the mountains of Limavady, we'll all run around naked, it'll be great fun.
You don't want to see me naked,
I just want to answer that question too. My solution right now is convincing everyone as much as I can that we need to vote for fucking Biden, and we need to get this racist, fascist, transphobic piece of shit out of office. Because even if you think Biden and Trump are the same on 99% of the issues, Biden is objectively better on trans rights, women's rights, black rights, and a number of other things. And we need to like get back to a place of normalcy in that. It's one thing that we have bigots in this country. We will always have bigots in this country attacking trans people, but we don't need the president of the United States attacking us.
No.
Yeah, because it normalizes it for the people who are attacking.
It does. And and it makes the people that are doing it feel justified because, our dear leader, our great fucking God Emperor is doing it too, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's like the most powerful person in the country is doing this, so, I mean, it has to be normal, right? I mean, like, he's, like, obviously successful because he won the presidency, so it has to be okay to do it.
Same way he
I love the way you
normalized not
put that,
wearing
Rib.
masks.
He won the presidency.
Exactly.
The most fascist thing he's done in his presidency this past week, and that was when he pretty much talked about how his own people were being violent, and he kind of prodded it on because they were.
Oh, well, he wants a civil war.
And it was like, yeah, that's okay. And that, I think, to me, that is really the worst thing he's done so far, because it is scary what he's trying. He's trying to get his people to kind of call arms.
Guys, this is not hyperbole. We are not being hyperbolic. Trump is dangerous.
Yes, he is.
He is literally fucking dangerous.
I knew he was dangerous in 2018.
That he's stolen basically $1 trillion from everyone in the future.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not a good situation. The whole thing.
Well,
I mean, for
not only that,
but people, unfortunately, on our side that keep saying, well, I don't agree with Biden, so I'm just either not going to vote or they're going to vote third party or whatever.
The lesser of two evils is still less evil.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think a lot of people don't get that.
Hey, come on over to Coffee with Lavender, and yeah, you've heard Kate and I get into it.
Oh yes. I will not talk about Biden with Kate.
I love Kate to death, but I will not discuss this with her. I'm sorry, I won't.
I mean, I'm not the world's biggest Biden fan either, to tell you the absolute truth. And I don't know I wish I knew what to do. Biden is not the long-term answer, but I don't know that there is a long-term answer here in the U.S.
No, we're not gonna get one. We're not given those options. Like, that's the thing. For everyone acting like, oh, well, Biden's not good enough. I'm like, okay, well, what's your better option? What's the third choice? We don't have one. We have two choices. One of them is slightly less terrible than the other one. So as far as I'm concerned, like that answers the question for me, you know?
Yeah.
I wish I were better.
I just kind of wish it didn't come down to Biden versus Trump. For me,
I do too.
I personally wish I would it was Bernie, but
hell yeah, me too. But we didn't get Bernie.
Yeah, but I mean, like, having kind of said all that, like, just to kind of echo off of a point that was made there earlier. Even if like Biden and Trump are like, I don't know, 60-70% the same on, or like they're like just as bad on like 60% of the issues. It's the 40% where Biden is not, like, he's like objectively better, that it's so much better that it should encourage people to vote for him just on that basis, of nothing else.
Yep.
Well, at least he doesn't mock disabled folks during the campaign.
Yeah.
Now, I just wish that I were better at foreign policy, because I'd be running. And then, who wants to vote for a hyper-intelligent atheist, lesbian, trans woman? Okay.
Atheists. There was a question from Brian: any of the trans people here religious at all?
No.
I know Cadence and Diana aren't, but I'm not familiar with Isley and Jamie's beliefs. So.
I am not. I'm fairly anti-religious. Like anti-religious.
What about you, Jamie?
No, I am an anti-theist. And
Okay,
I have been for a long time.
Does it help you, the fact that you're secular and you're surrounded by secular people and they tend to be a little bit more accepting of this?
Well, yeah, and that's in fact, if I was still surrounded by religious people, I'd still be hiding this about myself, and I'd still be acting as if, like, you know, I'd still hate myself. In fact, it's not just that they make you feel like you have to hide it from other people. They make you feel like you are doing something wrong just for how you feel internally. They make you feel like your wants, your interests, your desires, your everything right down to your very soul, how you fucking feel, is all just, it's a sin. It's disgusting. You need to hate yourself. That's why I was such a self-loathing person before. I mean, goddamn, like there is no way I would ever go back to an ideology that makes me fucking hate myself and devalue myself and devalue other people like me. It's absolutely disgusting.
Absolutely.
I'm with you, definitely.
That's one of the things about, like, my upbringing when I was younger. I hated young me.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually, and I hate to admit this, but I was homophobic. I was transphobic when I was young. And I think it was because I was raised Southern Baptist in Southern Louisiana, right by the coast. Like, I actually joined the military as one of the primary reasons to, like, get away from it, to quote unquote be a man and all that bullshit. And
that never happens. Yeah.
That was like my only option. And once I got out in the real world and started realizing stuff, I realized how many mistakes I've made, how many bridges I've accidentally burned that I shouldn't have. And that's why I just turned 38 a few days ago. And
child.
yeah.
Oh, if he's a child, I'm 25, so
We're the same age.
I'm actually
the same age, Jamie.
We've been able to transition when they're in their 20s.
I'm 19.
19, a proper like a baby. If we're children, then Isley's the baby.
Actually, where are you from? If you don't mind me asking, vague sort of area. It's one thing. I have a rough idea of where everyone else is from, if I can ask.
I'm in Texas,
Oh,
in the Dallas.
fuck.
area.
You're about 5 hours away from me, so.
It's actually not that bad, like the city.
you're not far from me either. Come to New Mexico. It's so much better. We're so much more progressive here.
Yeah, in like Dallas and stuff, it's not that bad. Like my job, when I still had one before COVID, was fine with it.
I grew up right down the road from you in Shreveport for like 10 years.
I was going to say, Atheist Edge are looking for a new host in Dallas.
Well, if I can say now, right, being the enemy, right, I am, the white cis straight man here, and Rib, am I going to throw you under the bus with me as well? Yeah,
I mean, pussy, yeah.
We like pussy, man. It's okay. It's you're allowed to say that. Yeah, you're allowed to say that. And but I wouldn't say that we are broad brushed as the enemy. This is one thing that I did want to bring up. Mandel probably shout at me because I'll get my wording wrong and I'll not be specific on this, that, and the other, and I'll look like a racist bastard. But people know that I'm not that sort of person. People know that Rib isn't that sort of person, and the reason that I came across Diana is because I was, new to the community. There is channel. I'm going to do this without names as best I can, but there's channels that's coming up in the community about 2 years ago that are going down that route of trans rights and things like that, and I've been supporting them for a while, and I join their Discord. And being one of only maybe 2 or 3 straight people, in this Discord, I got a lot of back and forth. I got a lot of disagreements. They didn't flat out call me names and things like that, but I could see that I was the minority. And I then came across another one where the same sort of thing happened. And then when I came across Diana was one of the first trans people in the community that accepted me for me and didn't see me as, the enemy, so to speak. Now, I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to get shouted at, and again, man, they'll fucking scream at me here. But I find that was because Diana was of an older age and was more accepting and had been through this. There's a lot of young people at the minute who are, because it's more accepting now, people are coming out. And that, it's wonderful and fantastic that they can come out.
It's really nice to see that, though.
That they can come out at a younger age. But I'm finding that, there can be that tribalism that we get everywhere, obviously, because we're all fucking humans. But, I don't know, Rib, have you ever had any back and forth, or where you've tried to help, where you've tried to be part of a community and not accepted in that trans community because you're straight, because you're the enemy, so to speak?
Don't look at me and say straight.
I mean,
no.
the only sort of really kind of negative response that I had was not in the college course that I'm doing now, but the previous one that I was doing. There was 2 trans people that were in that course, and a little while ago I did a debate on trans rights. I was actually debating with somebody who said that transgender people shouldn't even have rights. I know that's
oh, for the love of St. Gulick. And yeah, I've heard
I messaged one of the individuals, and I was kind of like, I'm doing this debate, and is there anything that you're kind of wanting me to bring up, from your perspective, obviously, because you are trans, etc., and they got very annoyed and very harsh and very almost aggressive at the fact that the debate was happening in the first place, which I suppose I can't understand, but I can see where they're coming from. I will never understand what it's like to be trans. Obviously I know that, but not massively from a group perspective, but that's the only kind of negative reaction that I've had.
Well, not too bad then.
No. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was just kind of...
I'm sort of using this as a leading question to tap Diana again and see...
Yes, sir.
But it's because, Diana, I'm using you, is because that what's happening now is different from then, and you've been a witness of it all. You've been through it all. You've experienced it all. And do you see the culture now, as a group of people as trans being different than what it was before? The movement, so to speak. Obviously, we had the women's rights, we had gay rights, and now we've trans rights, as it should be, and everybody is equal. But do you see a different...
There, but that's okay.
Pardon?
You missed a few in there, like
come on now.
American rights,
Yeah.
Native American rights, and
Yes, you know what
Gay rights are settled yet.
I'm making a point. I'm not teaching history, woman. This is the pigsty. It isn't the fucking Library of Congress.
Do you expect me not to correct you?
I know you were muted and I said you're going to come back and shout at me for saying things wrong. Words are difficult for me. I say the best thing to get the point across and not to be nice. Diana understands what I'm saying. She gets, but you know the point I'm trying to put across. I fucking hope. Or has she forgotten because you interrupted?
I'm trying. I'm very trying, but that's beside the point. No, I've had some arguments with people in the movement years and years ago. Helen Boyd and I do not like each other at all. For example, Helen Boyd being the person who wrote My Husband Betty and She's Not the Man I Married. I'm too traditional for her. And it's a product.
Wait, what does too traditional mean?
Yeah, what the fuck
what
does
that mean? You don't seem that traditional to me.
Well,
You're TradCon secretly.
Well, when I look at things, when I look at myself, I still view myself in more binary terms than anything else. Now, I know there's sliding scale and everything, and I even recognize myself on it. But again, I think MathPig would jump on this one. I think my age sort of gets in the way. For those who don't know, I'm recently 63.
50 what?
I mean,
everybody thinks I'm 50. It still doesn't get me any dates.
I'll be honest though, like for your age, like you're extremely progressive. Like that's the thing people don't understand. Like there are these generational gaps, and they expect like someone who's a little bit older, who maybe grew up with some slightly different values, to have the exact same values of someone from our generation. And it's like, oh well, you don't mesh with this. And it's like, no, like you just can't come from a different generation. I respect that. Like,
well, I will say that, yes, I am not at all what my sister was. I like to say that the slimy bastards raised the two of us Roman Catholic. She found Jesus, and I found Carl Sagan.
Sagan is my hero.
You definitely won there.
Yeah, so, I mean, Anne-Marie went full-on Pentecostal, and we got into some political arguments before she died, and it was a whole bunch of fun. I wonder what she would have thought of me, because I came out after she died. She died in 2007. I started my transition in 2009. That would have been really interesting to see her head explode.
I have a brother who, we were raised Catholic because my mother was Catholic, my father was atheist. But he was never, he was like me growing up. None of us kids, actually, except two older brothers, were really ever believers. Two of us ended up scientists, so we're not believers at all. But the middle brother, who was, the rebel of the family and was always getting in trouble, he married a woman and became super Presbyterian. His kids are like God robots. It's really gross. How do you guys deal with your family like that are just that are very religious and use that against who you are?
Well, from the slimy bastards, the stuff I got was, they could not have recited a plank of Catholic theology to save their lives. They wore their Roman Catholicism as an identity badge. That whole us versus them thing. And I was them. Okay, I was that heathen, the atheist, who, you can't celebrate Christmas because you don't believe in God. And it's like, I remember having an argument with him at one point, and he was ranting on about Mr. Barack Obama, and his big thing was, he isn't even Christian! And it's like, yeah, sure.
As if that's the big...
That matter anyway, though? Fuck's sake, really.
For all I know, Obama is not Christian. For all I know, he's atheist.
You know what? I'm willing to bet that Obama is more of a Christian than Trump is.
I was about to say that. Trump is
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's really shitty that actually saying that is a bad thing, though.
Yeah, it is. Because I mean, to me,
so wrong.
Well, you know what's funny to me? Because I grew up with like the word Christian being synonymous with good person, and anything else being synonymous with bad person. If you're a Muslim, if you're an atheist, whatever, you're a bad person. And now it's just completely the opposite for me. Now Christian is synonymous with bad person, but I look around and everyone else is still, are they a Christian? They must be a good person. I'm like,
no. I think it's the fraud of it, the fact that we know that he doesn't believe or care, and yet he has the very powerful Christians, especially the evangelical right, all up his ass.
Well, You know what I love about it though? It really does shine a light on the fact that Trump is exactly like most of the Christians in America. They just call themselves Christians and they're shitty fucking people. They act like the kind of shit that Trump says, the misogynistic, racist, bullshit. They all say that, but then they go to church once a week and that somehow absolves them of all their shitty fucking behavior.
Yeah. I saw a poster recently that I want to put on a t-shirt because I absolutely love it. Something to the effect of, I'm a better Christian than Donald Trump. And I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Do you find, all right, if I can ask a question, obviously he's come across people who are disrespectful, people who, do you think that is grounded in who they are, or do you think, being an American, because I'm in Ireland, so it's more cultural here than it is religious, but do you find that the hatred, the being put down and things like that people put towards you comes from their religious upbringing, the idea that it's wrong and it's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it has to do with who they are as people. I think it's way more to do with their upbringing. Because, I mean, I used to have these thoughts. I used to view, and I if I look back at, some of the ways I used to think about all kinds of groups of people, gays, blacks, trans people, anything is just those people. That's how you're raised to think.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I was raised with certain racist beliefs, and then I grew up to realize I fucking love black people. I lost my virginity to a black woman, and I almost married a black woman before I ended up with my wife now. I fucking, why did I have these, thought, this isn't who I am, this is the way I was raised. Same with, I had, these thoughts of, I'd see, a trans person, with maybe a little bit of stubble or some masculine features showing, I'd be like, that's gross, that's not natural. And it's where the fuck is that coming from? That's not from me. That's not what I believe. And I had this realization recently as I was in the process of coming out and discovering myself, where I'm like, where the fuck are these fucking thoughts? Because this internal dialogue telling me, you're gross for even thinking this, for even wanting this, look at a trans person and have these negative thoughts. I'm like, I don't believe this. Where did this come from? And I had this realization, oh my fucking God, the voice in the back of my head is my fucking parents.
Yeah.
And why
Yeah.
Why the fuck am I listening to it? Why am I letting it impact me? I don't need to. I already don't value what my parents think, so why am I letting this voice that is clearly just a carbon copy of them, affect the way I think? It's useless.
I grew up in Connecticut, so my very right-wing parents dabbled in what we would call light racism. They would say shit that was just, was wrong.
Yeah.
They would be talking about somebody and they would feel the need to say their race.
Yeah, my granny's my granny's likely racist.
Yeah, that's the thing, because growing up, my parents, they wouldn't be, my parents would never be caught dead being outright, openly racist.
Yes,
they would never say the N-word. They would never say, oh yeah, those people need to be whatever, go to jail, or they're terrible people, fuck black people. They would never say that openly, but it's so clear in the way that they their biases show in other ways.
You know what's hilarious?
My mom told me, by the way, sorry to interrupt. My mom told me, by the way, growing up, that if I ever dated a black woman, if I ever brought a black girl home, she would disown me. And then she looked at my sister and said, same goes for you. You bring a black boy home, I'm gonna disown you. But we love black people.
See, that's funny. In our house, it was okay to date a Catholic as long as you don't marry one.
So my father is like I said, they're very right wing, stupid. They watch Fox all the time. super into Trump. He is really behind this whole like anti-immigration stuff and building the wall. My father is an immigrant. I am first generation American.
I'm an immigrant.
My father is from Holland. Yes.
I get it. I get it.
Why is he like he came over here? He was an immigrant himself. Why? And he obviously has a better life than he would have had he stayed there. Why the fuck is he against just because they're brown people? Why?
Yeah.
Is he
It's so fucking infuriating.
Yeah, if you all get under the umbrella of religion, this is what we're talking about, is the whole idea that it's a community of people that all go under the same umbrella and they can all get together under that to hate you. You know, they all disagree in different denominations and their dogmatic beliefs down, you know, and this, that, and the other, but they can all get together to hate you.
Oh yeah, that is true. That's the thing about Christians. Like they, when it comes to like what they agree on, what they all believe, like in terms of like their theology, there's disagreements out the ass. But it's like, okay, well, who do we all hate? Oh, we all agree: trans people, gay people, Muslims, brown people, Mexicans, yeah, black people. Yeah, we all can kind of, okay. Well, some of us don't hate black people. In fact, there are a lot of black churches, but you know, that's the thing.
I would
though,
love to go to a fucking black church. I really would. They look very good fun. They look like loads.
Oh yeah, I went to black churches growing up. I loved it. It was the best. It was.
Live in the South. They're everywhere here.
Yeah,
I've gone a couple of times. There was no dancing in the aisles, but you know, I
missed out.
I was kind of disappointed. But
it was the only fun time to go to church was when everyone was like having a good time. And like I look back now and I still view it as kind of cultish and creepy, but still, it's like, you know what? At least they're having fun. You know,
There was
better than the Catholic Church.
yeah. Oh my God.
It's not. It's the least. Like I used to be an altar server in the Catholic Church, and I never really believed. But this is something my mother brings up to me. She's like, "You were an altar server. Of course you believe in God." I'm like, "I did it because I was fucking bored and wanted something to do during mass."
I hate that. My parents give me the. My parents give me that you were supposed to be a pastor. You said you got saved at the age of 4, and you told us you wanted to be a pastor. And like
my wee girl is on paper as Catholic. My wee girl has been christened. She has been blessed before she was 2 weeks old, and she was blessed in a modern, only recently built within 3 years chapel. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing symbols of onks and things like this, and I'm like, did they go to a religious is us shop and just. You know, it was very modern and things like that. Yeah.
I had my son baptized for my mother, and that's another thing she brings up against me. She's like, you obviously believe in God. You had Angel baptized. Like, no, I did that out of respect for you. You know, it was something that you wanted, and I don't give a fuck about it. I don't believe in any of it. So they want to you want to sprinkle some water on my kid's head. That's fine. But you know, having to come up against that do you deal with the same things with family members or friends that try to convince you that you're not really trans?
Well, here I am, the atheist who was baptized Roman Catholic twice.
You know, we're still Catholic, right?
I'm still counted, but yeah, I was baptized in the infant's home, and then once I was adopted out, I was baptized again. Fun, and I don't remember any of it, and I had nothing to say about it.
Better that way.
All the Catholics need to get together and actually get themselves excommunicated.
Wow,
See their numbers drop.
like I said, my uncle is a Monsignor. He should be able to help me out with that shit. So,
from my understanding, they don't do that anymore.
No, they will still excommunicate you for certain things.
Well, as far as the excommunicating goes, but when they've excommunicated you, they still regard you as a Catholic. Just a Catholic persona non grata. There once was a time when you could petition your bishop of your diocese to say, I don't want to be a Catholic anymore, get me off the rolls, and they would do it. They quit that, I don't know, maybe about 20 years ago, I think. I have to look it up.
Loophole, I guess. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd really, really like to be taken off the rolls.
Their numbers drop.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it keeps their numbers.
Huge their numbers. They next to half a billion Catholics worldwide.
They like being able to say they're a majority.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they say, that there are 2 billion Catholics or something worldwide? I'd like to count up the number of people who don't consider themselves Catholic anymore and then get the number.
Well, there is that meme, that joke that, Catholics aren't real Christians except when you're counting statistics.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because like growing up, that's funny because growing up, my dad didn't believe Catholics or Christians. He didn't believe any other denomination were real Christians. But then he still uses the talking point of, oh, well, we're the majority. And like we make up most of the, it's like, but you don't believe any of those people are going to heaven. So what are you talking about?
We spent half our life on YouTube and on Twitter arguing with creationists. Young Earth creationists claim that they are the Christians.
Oh my God!
I argue with the climate deniers. That's who I end up with. So I am the fucking creationists. I can't stand them.
I am well known over at AIG. I mean, when they put up one of their articles, and I respond, it's her again. Well, actually, no, I don't get it's her again. I get it's him again. Because a number of their number have given me a whole bunch of shit. You're not a real woman. You got the cock and the balls, and do you cry yourself to sleep at night because you'll never be a real woman? And fuck you.
That's so gross.
Yeah, that's just like the one thing that I just don't understand. I mean, like, even if you say that you would never date somebody who is trans, like, even if you say that you don't like agree with the fact that like trans people are being like normalized or anything, like, even if you do say that, like, I just, which is all wrong, by the way, I just want to preface that, which is like all wrong, but like, I just don't understand why you have to be the level of dickhead necessary to intentionally misgender someone. I just don't get it, because you're putting extra effort in that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I look at you, Jamie and Lavender, and like you look visually as women, so my brain associates I'm going to use, unless told otherwise, to use female pronouns. So I just like, it's just one of those things that I can't wrap my brain around.
It's really interesting. You say, you visually associate the woman thing and everything else. I don't own a motor vehicle, so I'm on public transport quite a lot. And if anybody remembers what the inside of a bus looks like, that back door, there's a plexiglass sheet between that door and the next seat. That's my favorite seat. Now, I'm sitting there and I'm going wherever I'm going, and I see a reflection in that plexiglass sheet. Ooh, she's kind of cute. Wait, that's me. Has anybody had that happen?
So, by the way, I just wanted to respond to what you said there, Rib, where you were like,
Sure.
So, because here's the thing, here's what I find funny, guys, is like these guys who go around like, oh, I would never date a trans person. I love the like assumption that we would date you.
Yes,
like,
yes.
It goes back to the gay problem and the how people treat how some men treat women. They fear gay men because of how they treat women and not wanting to be treated that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
and that attitude leads on to trans everyone.
That probably has something to do with it. Like, I'm just looking at it like, guys, like you're out there like afraid that like some trans person is trying to trick you. You know what? Here's my solution, guys. If you're really that afraid that a trans person is trying to trick you every time you go out on a date, then how about this? Because I get it. It's awkward to ask someone if they're cis or trans, and you don't want to like. And I get it. Some cis women would probably be insulted if you're like, wait, are you actually a cis woman? And it's kind of a rude question to ask. So here's what you do. Here's what you do, guys, if you're worried about being tricked by a trans person. On the first date, no matter who you go out with, instead of asking them whether or not they're trans, ask them what their views are on trans rights and explain to them what your views are. And if you are a transphobe, I promise you, any fucking trans person will leave that date before trying to show you their genitals or before anything gets to a point that could get sexually explicit. I promise you, we will leave. We will be gone. And problem solved.
I had so much fun one day early on when I came to this neighborhood. I guess there must be a cat house around here somewhere, but I was going from the apartment building to the local Squall Mart, and here's this pickup truck that drives by and it stops, and the guy's motioning, and it's like, okay, I know what he wants. I go over to the window. He rolls the window. Yeah, what do you want? Roll. I passed well enough that he wanted he wanted my services, but when I dropped into my register, it was like, I'm out of here.
Damn.
Well, we have been going for a wee while. I think Rib may have a thing to go and do. If everybody is, I think I'm going to check. I don't know if Jamie is in the knowledge, so we will alert Jamie and let Jamie know. But last week we were having a stream with about maybe 30 people watching, and Rib had too much sugar and agreed. He's drinking Lucozade. I don't think people in America know what Lucozade is. It's basically sugar dissolved in water.
It looks fucking toxic as shit.
I'm not joking you, right? I am not joking you. If you look at the sugar content of that and look at the sugar content of what I feed the bees during the winter, all right? It's not fucking far off the sugar water I feed to the bees. It's pure sugar. Anyway, I digress.
I'm disappointed in you, Rib.
45 grams of sugar in it.
45 grams of sugar per liter, yeah? Lots
roughly,
of sugar.
Yeah,
Anyway.
roughly, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, Rib was high on sugar and agreed that if we get 50 likes on a video that only 20-something people were watching, that he would do this entire show in drag. Which did spark the conversation, which is why we are having this serious conversation. But we did not want to bring disrespect in the conversation, so we didn't do it the entire show. But I have asked in the chat, I think everybody here, and Jamie, I am asking you live, so this is a lot of, do you mind? And
okay, agreed.
Yeah, Amanda's shouting at me, and I'm going to get abuse later, so don't worry about it. I'll record it, you can see it for Patreons. Join MathPig Patreon, yeah. Rib, you go do your thing, and we'll see you back. What?
You didn't even ask her.
She nodded.
Yeah,
or Isley, if it was just...
Okay, does anybody mind if Rib comes back in 2 minutes and drags to finale the show?
No.
What? I should care? Why?
Thank you.
Well, I know you don't care, Diana.
That sounds hot.
Okay, give me like 2 to 5 minutes. 5 minutes, probably closer to 5, but yeah, I'll be back as soon as I can.
Right.
Yay!
5 minutes.
While Rib goes and does that, do we have any questions in the chat for anyone in the panel? Because this is probably the last time you'll all see me alive. Amanda's gonna fucking kill me.
Can I watch?
Did you ask what are some questions one should never ask a trans person?
Have you had the surgery?
Pardon?
Never ask a trans girl if she's had surgery.
Well, I think if someone knew me really well, I wouldn't mind them asking that.
Unless you like a couple dates or something like that, and you have negative whatever. But like right off the bat, no, I will fucking stab you.
What about if you ask?
You're really helping the image. I'll fucking stab you if you ask me that question.
That's like
okay. We're all
So
for Cadence. If they ask you, are you going to have the surgery? That seems like it would be worse almost.
That all depends on the person. A couple of my best friends have asked me, and we've had the discussion. If somebody just asks out of curiosity, it's none of their fucking business.
right. I mean, the way I see it, like, if I'm in a serious relationship with someone, I feel like they kind of have a right to know.
I didn't mean like that.
But,
I just mean random people.
Yeah, no, random people, it's like, it's none of your business. Why are you talking about my genitals? Why are you asking about that? It's not your business.
One of the things I get in living in the South, we're not, we're new here, is the first thing is asked, what church do you go to? It feels almost the same kind of, obviously not as bad, but
I'm just as offended. I'm very offended when I get asked.
I get offended by that question too. It's like, the assumption, the presupposition that you must be religious. Like, fuck
Well, yeah,
you,
but
bitch.
I live in Georgia. Everybody. I mean, I've had the one spit in my face when she found out I was an atheist because I had her son at my house, and she was not happy with the fact that she found out afterwards. Like I was supposed to announce that I was secular.
You did a satanic ritual to
Wow.
give him
Your own mother won't look at your channel because it has atheist in the title.
Well, you know what I love?
I used to look at my YouTube channel because my name is Mom Atheist. So
You know what I love? It's this thing where it's like, oh my god, I had no idea you were an atheist. It's like, yeah, that's the point. I'm a normal fucking person. You didn't realize that there was a difference. You didn't look.
Do you know
my
what?
own nephew think that my son and I worship Satan because that's what they think atheists are. So
I don't understand this.
no,
We've got a friend, and
Why?
I asked. Go on.
I have no idea.
You know, why, if we are people who do not believe in the supernatural, we do not believe in gods, we do not believe in demons, so of course we're Satan worshippers. Why?
Because okay,
we don't believe in your God, we don't believe in your Satan.
because they don't. Because they live in a world where everything has to have some kind of supernatural origins. They don't believe there's any such thing as atheists. It's insane. That's how they rationalize everything. If you're an atheist, no, you're just tricked by Satan.
Yeah.
And he's using you to trick people further.
Me personally, I complicate the matter because I'm an atheist, but I'm a card-carrying member of the Satanic Temple.
I have tweeted at Lucian twice. That fucker has not replied. He opened his DMs and then doesn't look at them, for fuck's sake.
You know what was funny? I was watching this show, and it's this school that's full of a bunch of very, very Christian people, but there's this one group that they are Satanists. So they're going around talking to each group about, all the Christian groups about what they're doing, and they're doing all these really, stupid things like, making crosses for little children and stuff like that. And they go to the kids from the Satanic Temple, and they're raising money for to bring water to African villages and stuff like that. They're doing all these amazing things, and all the Christian kids are just like, yeah, let's try to get more Christians. It was funny. It's kind of
haven't a couple atheist groups run into problems because they raise money for a cause or whatever it is, and then the representatives of that cause refuse to take the cash?
Yeah, that sucks.
I've seen that before. Refuse to take help because it's not a Christian organization.
That's fucked. Cause, dude, you know what? I'll take Christians' money. I'm not fucking afraid of. if some Christian wants to give me their money, I ain't gonna be like, oh, this is tainted by your religious. No, I'm gonna take your fucking money. That's why I don't get it. These people claim to be capitalists, but it's like, no, I'm not taking money from people I disagree with.
If I can ask, there's a question
I'll
in the
take my
private
business
chat from Quentin.
elsewhere, motherfucker.
There's a press.
Yeah, I mean, it's really stupid. I mean, here's my check. It's like, no, I don't want that. I'll get by on the quarter or whatever it is. Who gave you the quarter? They all did. But
we've had Quentin in the back room, who I have to respect being in the back room and putting up with us tonight. We've been full. We haven't swapped in and out because it was trans rights. I wanted to keep the people on, but he does have a question in the private chat if anyone can see it there. As someone who is non-binary, how can we help people get used to their pronouns?
For me at least, like when I came out to my dad and my mom, like you just have to keep on it, reminding them, because some people get like used to calling you he and your old name, and you just gotta say, like, when they say he, you just say she or they or whatever you're going by.
For me, my solution for this has been just, I'm trying to normalize they, them in general. Like, I use they, them to refer to, because let's be honest, like, we're all online. We all run into people who use anime avatars or no avatars, and it's like, and just ambiguous usernames. It's not easy to tell what gender someone is, and it really doesn't matter. I try to treat people the same, whether they're male or female. So, anyway, yeah, if I don't know, I'm just going to refer to them as they, them anyway. And I'm trying to normalize that in myself. And I think if we just use it more, just like they, them, see, here's the thing. When people first started proposing they, them being used for non-binary people, a lot of people were like, but that's not even normal. That's not how we talk. That's like, is it though? A lot of people use that when they don't know the gender of the person they're talking about. Oh, who's our new, we're about to meet our new real estate agent. I wonder if they're any good,
Yeah,
whatever it is, they has been used as a part of the English language to refer to someone whose gender we're not certain of, and I don't see why it shouldn't continue to be used.
100% agree. That's my go-to. If in doubt, whenever the question came up earlier from GEOSAM, I was thinking in my head, I don't have that problem because I just refer to a new person.
Yep.
If I'm, don't know as they or them, and that's generally accepted. Then you get to a certain point where you can have that conversation.
Yeah, sorry. I get not everyone will adopt that. I get it's going to be hard to normalize that, but the more of us that do it, the more normalized it'll become.
Sorry, I was laughing at
I admit it.
private chat. Not bad.
I admit that I have a problem with it, and I have to remind myself to do it and the whole thing like that. I grew up in a time where we learned the universal masculine. So, instead of saying they are when you don't know someone's gender, you would actually say he is or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And the other thing is that we learned Latin grammar when I was in grammar school. And I'm talking 1963 here. So you learned agreement in number, and it's still like a lightning bolt going off in my head when I'm trying to use a singular they, but I know that that's a good way to do it, if you will. So
that's the thing, because that's the thing. Like, past generations will have things that they're more used to, they were raised with, but future generations aren't going to have that. That's why we need to normalize they, them, because future generations will just pick it up and it'll just be normal for them.
Well, you see, that's the
wish
thing.
we had a better one though, because they is, I don't know. I wish that there was a way.
No,
I do too.
Ron pointed that out. If you have a phrase that works better overall, it will be the one that it will eventually take over. So this whole bastard back and forth that people do when the extreme things they and them works better for everybody, it will eventually be accepted.
Yeah.
It's better
All right,
Rib's fucking biting at the bit, right? Well, we'll hold on for him. He's
I'm
the
back.
finale, right? He's the finale. So what we'll do is we'll work around the room. Dave,
Just don't do it live or like full screen as you did the last time, because that.
I'm totally not set up for that. Cough, cough, splutter, splutter.
Okay.
I'm totally set up.
Can I just
for that.
say, I love cis people cross-dressing because I do think it normalizes the idea that men can wear women's clothing and women can wear men's clothing. So anyone who thinks like it's offensive for a cis person to cross-dress and that you're appropriating or what? No,
Most
it actually.
women wear predominantly men-ish clothing anyway. So
If I can just bring a point to that statement, Jamie.
Side or the other.
If I can just bring a point to that statement, Jamie, I have only met you tonight, and I've only met, Isley tonight. She came in through Rib, and Rib knows her, so it was, But I didn't want to come forward and ask you this because I didn't want to be offensive. But the fact that you've made that statement is just brilliant. It is great.
Yeah. No, I do think it's because, well, you know what? I used to cross-dress before I came out too, and I'll be honest. Even a part of me at the time wondered, like, am I being offensive to the trans community by doing this? But then I thought about it and I was like, well, how? Because that bias I mentioned earlier, where I look at a trans woman with a bit of stubble or masculine features and be like, ugh, gross. Like, where does that come from? That comes from a societal thing where it's like men can't wear feminine clothing, men can't be more feminized, and I want all those barriers broken down. I'm a gender abolitionist. I believe ultimately there should be no need for having to affix yourself to one gender or another. I'm a trans person. I understand why we do in this culture. We have to, especially in order to be taken seriously as what we identify as and feel comfortable as. But I like to be able to, and don't get me wrong, even in a gender abolished society, I'd still present like this. But I want people to be able, I want everyone to be able to present however they want, whenever they want. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Well, for the longest time, I wished I was a cross-dresser, because it would be a hell of a lot easier than this. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Even from my point of view, from a
that being trans is fun, they could go.
you know, even from a straight guy's point of view, this is where I ended up. But anybody being honest with themselves has been through that stage. You know, that story I mentioned earlier, that had me thinking for a while. There was a stage where, you know, anyone who's being honest will say they questioned their own sexuality. I just come out the other end loving pussy. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, everybody. She rubs her face. Mandy hates me.
Hey, trans women can love pussy too.
So you're mixing up two things.
Diana certainly does.
I've heard people try and say like, oh, trans lesbians don't exist. You're just a man, and fuck you, dude.
I've heard that horse shit.
There was an awful lot written about that early on.
Like, I'm sorry, if
you didn't.
So does that mean lesbians don't exist?
Yeah, that's my point. If trans lesbians don't exist, then lesbians don't exist.
There you go. See, the logic is flawed.
Yeah, something I said years ago applies now as much as it did then. I want a relationship with a woman as a woman. How much more lesbian can you get, kids?
Yeah.
Now, are you sure it's with a woman or it's not with just Bionic Dance?
Shut up, Clarion!
Diana loves me too. Shut up. It's not just Kate.
I tell you, even Kate's picked up on that one already. And if I fall silent, it's shut up, Clarion. Yeah.
Okay, right. We'll get round the room, right? Cadence, have you anything you would like to plug, shill, scream about, or let everyone know?
Not really. Go subscribe.
Screwed me then.
Need to encourage me to make more videos because I need ideas for what to do.
Yeah, you and I both.
That's come on my channel.
Yeah.
Amanda.
I'll be happy.
Okay, what do we talk about, hon?
Anything you want. Anything. You know I love you, Diana. And Cadence, I love it.
There's no accounting for taste, but you know, besides
Look at my partner, so wherever the fuck he is in this.
I am slightly below you and to your left.
Whatever the fuck.
Yep, there you go. Right. Who hasn't plugged that I've plugged? Because Amanda shouted at me and I lost my trail of thought.
I didn't shout at you.
She's the only person.
woo woo.
Okay, I'm only joking. Dave, what have you got coming up? Yes.
Critical questions tomorrow night, 9:30, 4:30 Eastern.
Rib, what have you got coming up?
Well,
ginormous boobs.
yeah.
You know,
Bigger than mine.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Man,
you
your
feel
mic's
it.
in the way. Your mic's in the way.
Yeah, it is. Look, I was sitting down and I literally did this shofty thing. I keep hitting the mic.
well, you got
wanna-
projection into the next county over there.
Yeah.
You know?
I just want to point out that, like, there are some people, let's call them bigots, who say that, like, being trans is, like, a choice or whatever. I have been wearing a bra for 5 minutes. It is already the most uncomfortable thing. If this is a choice, it is the most stupid fucking choice you could ever make. Well, it's just, yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Well, the big question here, the one that's always been there all throughout the years, how do you tell the difference between a transvestite and a transsexual? Well, the transvestite can't wait to get home to put on a bra. The transsexual can't wait to get home and take the damn thing off.
Yeah. I've been wearing a bra for a couple weeks now, and I can't get used to it still. I hate
You will,
it.
honey. Trust. There will be a time when it'll feel weird not to wear a bra during the day. So, and it's not a great thing when you get to that point, but you'll get used to it. Don't worry.
And then you will also get to the point where you'll be that tired that you'll fall asleep. You'll wake up and hang out with your boyfriend 6 hours later and get right up to the camera and go, I fucking fell asleep with my bra on. My tits are killing me.
No, I have no idea what I just said. None at all.
Jamie, plug your channel one last time. Let everyone know the name. I'm sure that Spooky will plug the link in the chat for you.
Yes. It is Jamie Darke. That's JamieDarke. the E has a little accent over it, but you don't need to type that. I made it so you can find me without. It
has
used to be
even
really
put it
hard
in
to
the
find
chat
me,
with
and
the
I'm
accent.
working on that.
Dave's put it in the chat with the accent.
Yeah, trying to
He's the
type
best
that is a
one.
pain in the arse, though. You know.
It is. But yeah, check me out. I do live streams. I do like a news / commentary streams from time to time, and then I also do streams where I just chill and talk with my chat. I do podcasts with my wife. We do all kinds of things. I'm also a co-host on a show called Underhaven with my buddies Animancer and Swegta. We're taking a little break right now, but we'll be back doing that shit soon, and that's also a great show if you guys want to check it out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, let me go to your Chanel. That would be number 5, right?
Isaac, would you like to plug yourself?
Isaac, do you have a Discord, or is there a Discord to find you on?
There is not. I'm in Rib's Discord, but that's about it.
Ah, I'm there.
You're welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The more outgoing, the more people outside of our general community, the more Rib, yes, we all love you. We can all see you. Stop getting frustrated with your hair.
No, it's
You're
just-
beautiful.
it's the
You're
grass
beautiful.
cuts. It's so
We're trying to give Isley some
man.
attention here. Shut up.
Fucking complaining, you whiny little bitch.
Yeah,
Well,
get used to
but,
it.
like, this is what I'm saying. Like, literally, the first time that I ever put this on, my fucking respect level for women, as if it wasn't already high, went like shot up. I was like, how the fuck do you do this all day?
I tried a thong on once. I have no
Have some
idea
lead.
how women put strings up their arse. That's just insane. Like that.
Be a man. Learn to handle your bra.
There you are.
Whose turn is it?
Diana.
Yes, dear.
Tell us, show yourself and your channel and shit again.
Oh, okay. My channel is The Lavender Lady. I am out there on the YouTubes and the good stuff like that. Kate and I have shows Sunday at noon and Tuesday at 7 p.m., both Eastern. And many times joining us is the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Mom Nato. And it's more or less the YouTube equivalent of The View. The thing is, none of us have decided which one is Whoopi Goldberg yet. So we're working on that.
Oh, honey, you are definitely Whoopi.
Every time someone says Whoopi Goldberg, now, I just think Guinan. That's all I think is Guinan.
There you go. And I don't know, I'm trying to do some thinking and trying to come up with some ideas of more things to do, because I'd like more stuff to do on the channel, and I don't know, maybe actually be worth a few bucks here. I mean, I'd like to be making 10,000 a month. You know how it goes. And
I think Dave's monetized. He makes about 16p a month. You know.
there you go. I tell you, I'm amazed at how much people are willing to throw at me through Patreon. It's like, no, I'm not that good, right?
Yes, you are.
That is
I'm going to
one
bitch
thing
about my
that they-
Patreons tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're very annoying.
What the fuck do you do? Aside from pay you.
And yeah, it's. I mean, generally, the stuff I do and the stuff we do is a general interest sort of thing. But I think I want to do some more, possibly do some more atheist-oriented stuff, and I'll have to work on that and see how that works. So, okay, that's who I am and what I do, and.
I generally think you should record you playing with your computers, because the setup that you have and how it never works, it would be comedy gold for everybody. I have literally spent an hour with Diana once, and you know, I help a lot of people in the community with their OBS setup and stuff like that, and Diana reached out to me once, and I think we lasted an hour, and she got up, the chair went flying behind her, she was like, "That's it, I'm just not taking the more." She just walked off.
Oh my word! Yes, I remember that all too well, and I certainly hope that I was not being horrible at you or something. It
Oh
was
no,
the
generally I'm
frustration
the Irish ignorant fucker. Don't worry
way
about
up
that.
here. Oh my,
Okay.
oh my!
OBS has made me pretty fucking mad before too.
Jamie, if you need any help, just give me a shout. We'll sort that out. But anyway, right, on that, everybody, I want to thank you all.
We have more shilling. Come on, we have more people shilling, right?
Did everybody
Right,
not shill?
I did not say a god.
I've got links ready and everything, and you just ignore it.
Amanda
Okay.
has texted me at least 3 times about this.
No, Amanda, you don't count.
She's
No.
texted me
No,
at
I
least
don't.
3
I'm
times
fucking
about this,
furniture.
which is why I think that it's happened, because I have been alerted till it 3 times. So I apologize, my dear.
Oh shit, you have. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, so I'll just say who I am because there are some people on the panel that don't even know. I am MOMMA atheist. I'm a climate scientist. And tonight on Nervardia's channel, yeah, fuck off. On Nervardia's channel, an hour from now, we are talking about there was a scientist in the community that came out very anti-climate science and got in trouble for it, and we'll discuss the science behind that and the ethics of being a scientist, pretty much, and how you treat.
Do you ever
people
get
in
any
the
sleep?
Community. What, honey?
Do you ever get any sleep?
Not really, no. I actually work at night because I do so much during the day, so it's fine.
Yoy, I don't know, man.
I have been trying, Diana. I've been trying. You know, it's funny sometimes. It's funny, but I try. She does.
Well, honey, you are trying. We know that.
I'm going to go back to this.
Good. That was it. And then Dave put Marrow's or Nervardia's link in the chat because there's nothing for it, but it should be a good discussion. So, and then this
So wait
weekend,
a minute now. That's on her channel in an hour?
yeah, in an
Okay.
hour at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Nervardia's channel, and then this weekend on Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have Holy Kool-Aid.
Oh, fun. Yay.
We're talking about spiritualism. Yes. So.
Oh, my.
I like that dude.
Yay.
What are you doing back?
Is it okay?
I'm done. I'm done.
Honey,
Who's
I do
doing what
apologize.
for how much? I
You're
don't
the
know.
yeah. I love everybody in the panel. Everybody in the panel has all my love. You know, please don't get
There's
me.
no counting for taste, but that's beside the point.
Well, if I can shill my stuff, then is it okay to shill me now? Yeah.
No.
I thought you were saying goodbye. I thought you were done. You said
No!
everyone was done.
No!
Like everybody else said or something, even though my
I was
girlfriend
shutting
didn't.
you fuckers up so I could talk about myself. This is my channel, remember. Anyway,
I already did.
this Sunday, before Amanda has her Holy Kool-Aid stream, I will be having a debate on the channel between Praise I Am and Jeff on 1 Timothy. I know that me and you, Rib, discussed about having a debate and all, but they heard I was doing debates, they're now doing it on Sunday. So, who authored
It's fine.
Amanda going
Who's
ahead?
Jeff?
Wait. Marrow just texted me. She said she has to push it back by half an hour, so it'll be at 9.
Okay.
Zaprasznie.
Okay.
Maybe. Now she's saying,
Jeff?
fuck me.
Okay,
Now
can
she's
I
saying
talk
something.
and we do this after?
It'll be sometime tonight on Nervardia's
Sub to
channel.
Navardia! Sub to Navardia!
Yeah, just-
Who's Jeff?
Jeff Spatchcock will be debating
good.
Praise I Am, that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am on the authorship of 1 Timothy because he felt that his other Christian friend didn't do a good enough job of it. Considering his other Christian friend is Red Stapler Man, that's not really surprising. So that's on Sunday. Yes, Dave.
Who's Timothy?
It's the book of the Bible.
I didn't really answer the question.
You can go fuck yourself. I'll kick you too.
Well, let's put it
Some
this
dude
way,
that
it's
probably
not written
didn't
by
exist.
Who it says it's written by.
Well, they're discussing whether it was written by Paul or not. So that's happening on Sunday. I have no interviews next week, and then the week after that we have Religion is Bullshit coming back to debate. I don't know if he's coming back in the bra or not, but he's coming back to debate.
Yeah,
No.
gotta come back.
Hey,
and-
man,
gotta
you
come back and
debated
track.
smoking,
come on,
right?
Come on, come on.
No,
What is your
no,
topic?
no.
What is your topic again? Is there
Is there sufficient reason to believe the Christian God exists?
In that outfit. That would be brilliant.
No,
That would be
Matt
perfect.
Fake, Matt
Yeah.
Fake.
Against
would
the
help your
fundamentalist
argument.
Christian who agrees with
all
fucking
I'm
Matt
saying
Powell.
is-
That
all
would
I'm
be a great
saying is-
outfit.
I mean, Smokey is already homophobic. He's almost definitely transphobic. I am not doing that debate in this outfit. There is no way.
See,
I mean, I
that's-
know the drag and trans are like almost polar opposites, but even still, it's going to be hate filled. So no.
That's why
You would
I'll show it.
Well, that's coming on the 16th of September. If I can do a shout out for everybody watching, if I can do a shout out for everybody in the panel, thank you all for joining. I think it was a great conversation. And obviously, the people who support the channel, the Patreons, Rib, you're one of them. Manda, you're one of them. An awful lot of love. Manda also gives me boobs, and since tonight, Rib has given me his boobs as well. So, thank you very much.
A little bit extra. Why not?
Okay.
Send me money.
Wait, I think it's still in an hour. I don't fucking know.
Sub to Navardia!
Every now and
Sub
again.
to
Is this
Navardia!
Navardia's way of getting you to turn notifications on?
Yes.
Probably. Turn
Right.
the notifications on. And
I'm
Navardia is
shutting
really
you all
just
down.
not
I'm going to
good.
mute the stream.
Oh,
Right.
wait. Also, GE, Godless Engineer, is less than 200 away from 50K subs. If you're not subbed to
wow.
Godless Engineer, fuck you, do it. He's amazing. Just saying.
Yes.
So.
I
Okay,
know.
Amanda, is
an hour
it
from
okay
now,
if
so
I finish
8:30.
the stream on my channel now?
But
No.
Okay. Everybody, thank you very much for coming. Go sub to Navardia, and at some stage tonight, Manda will be there, and everybody else's
No.
channels. Shh. Right. We will oink and we will out.
shh.